So I also want to raise a question with regard to acedia, which is sometimes called sloth or listlessness. It can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. One of the ways acedia manifests is hyperactivity, where I feel like I need to do a bunch of stuff so that I fill up the interior void. But aren't we sometimes called to do a lot of work in the Lord's vineyard? And acedia can also manifest as a sort of social disengagement, feeling like I need to step back and just disconnect from everybody. So how do I tell the difference between that and a genuine desire for solitude with the Lord? What's the difference between taking time out for God and taking time out just because I don't feel like being around anybody anymore? One of the ways I want to speak into that is just simply asking the question, what's your state in life? Right? Are you a married person? Are you a single person? Are you a student? Are you a priest or religious, a sister, etc.? What are the duties of your state in life? What do you need to do because of who you are? And that's a pretty clear manifestation of God's will for you. So if, let's say, okay, my mom has a little baby and the baby is crying and mom says to the baby, sorry, it's time for me to pray lauds, deal with it. Weird, right? Not being faithful to the duties of her state in life. So if mom were to step back from the baby and go pray lauds, that would be inappropriate to who she is as a mom, right? The manifestation of God's will for her in that moment is the crying baby. I would say too, in my own experience as a monk, there's kind of a pendulum swing with this. Sometimes I'm more active and engaged in doing stuff, and sometimes less. So for example, a year and a half ago, St. Benedict's Abbey hosted the general chapter for our congregation, which is sort of our family of monasteries throughout North America. And during that week, I was on the go all day long, driving golf carts, getting people food, picking people up from the airport, right? It was a lot going on, but that was what was asked of me by the abbot and by the community at that time. Other times, right, we're on a community retreat, and then it's time to stop and to step back and spend time in solitude and silence. So just to be attentive to what are the other duties of my state in life, then how does this proposed activity, spending time in solitude and silence right now, going to pray right now, going for a walk at this time, how does that fit in with the other events of my life and of my day? Does it balance well with the other things that I'm asked to do? Making sure that there's an appropriate proportion of prayer in common, private prayer, spiritual reading, Lectio Divina, and work, as well as common meals throughout the day. So just to be attentive to that balance of different elements of work throughout the day. If I'm spending my whole day doing nothing but work on stuff, and I don't stop and spend time with the Lord, I'm going to get burned out. So another question we can ask ourselves to unpack this is, what are the fruits? Right? What do I see showing up in my experience as a result of whatever it is that I'm doing? If I'm spending the whole day working and getting burned out, then I don't have time to be present to my brothers, it's not a good fruit. Alternatively, if I'm spending the whole day in prayer and solitude and silence, unless I'm a hermit, that's also probably going to disengage me from community life and the duties of my state.